Legendary South African bassist and music producer Victor Masondo has been hosting the Reaching for the Stars Artist Development Workshop over the past few months. The program aims to equip creators with the knowledge and practical skills to build a sustainable and professional career in the music industry. And to share a bit more on the workshop and his music, Mr. Masondo joins us in studio, as well as Laika Masuku, who is the host and founder of Hidden Tracks, Untold Tales, a music podcast that explores untold industry stories and honors cultural heritage, as well as connects past legends with present artists. A very good morning to you, Laika. Good morning to you, Mr. Masondo.
Good morning.
And thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
I'm going to start with you, Mr. Masondo. What was the reason that you decided to start the Reaching for a Dream development workshop?
Well, first I was contacted by some good friends of ours, and they go under Abapumeleli Trading, and we're just discussing this whole thing of music education, because it's always been what I've been doing all my life. Most of the time, you know, the gift of music is like 20%, and in the 100% of the whole thing, there's the business side of the music. So that's why most times people just always hear I was robbed, I didn't know what, because a lot of people have not been privy to the business side of the music. So the whole idea of really educating the next generation has just been a passion, an ongoing passion, so it just got fueled further so that we can be able to host a workshop, a free workshop to educate people about the industry, the business of the music, you know, which is quite important.
And in talking about educating, what are some of the things that the course covers or the program covers? What has been taught through the program?
We've been teaching things like copyright, and especially to understand what copyright means, you know, where once you've written the music, and it's that thing that protects your intellectual property. So there's a lot of talk about intellectual property, what it is in the AI world as well, and we're also going to be doing songwriting, as well as arranging, and I'm going to also touch on production. And so the whole picture of things that people always need to know, but more importantly, how to secure your intellectual property. What is intellectual property? You know, what is what you're entitled to once you've got a piece of music in front of you. So which is more important than, you know, it's easy to compose, but then you need to protect it.
Beautiful. Laika, let's come to you. So what was your motivation in joining the workshop?
So I'm a granddaughter of a jazz musician, Victor Masondo, and joining the workshop just made sense. When my grandma was late, I then inherited this mega legacy, and I didn't even know where to start. So platforms like this are incredible. I still, like, music is continuous learning. There's always something you have to learn. There's so many facets about the industry. So it was just an obvious decision to be part of the workshop.
So it was a natural transition, so to speak. And Mr. Masondo, I understand each workshop is themed differently, such as the past Monday you spoke about copyright and music in the age of AI. What are some of the other topics that you've been able to cover and that you've been able to touch on?
We're going to be covering composition, and actually that's songwriting, because there's always a gray area. A lot of people always think they understand it, but they don't. And then there are those who are gifted with the gift of songwriting, but they do not even know that they have it. You know, you hum a tune, you wake up with a tune in the middle of the night, and you're starting to think, where have I heard that? You've not even heard it before, and you don't capture it. And once, you know, and then some people have got some music that they've just freely given away to other people to say, I've got this piece of music, and people, there are a lot of people who have taken other people's music and they put it out there. Others are like, oh, that's my song, but no, do you understand what that means? Because, you know, you need to be able to have it protected, registered, and then you can start to earn revenue that's going to be ongoing for the rest of your life.
And Laika, what advice would you have for any artist that would want to join the industry?
I think it's very important to educate yourself. Lots of the loopholes that I'm finding, even with my grandma's career, was she didn't have the information. But I guess music in that day was different. The reason was a apartheid struggle, so they had different struggles. But I think a musician today, there's like workshop, there's so much education. There's the internet. They have access to things, and I think it's very important to educate yourself.
Okay. And maybe finally, music-wise, what have you been working on, Mr. Masondo?
Well, you know, I've just been going back to my archives of music because I'd done an album before. I was asked to do a jazz album. So I did a jazz album called As Promised. And I was keeping a promise to somebody who asked me to do a jazz album.
Yes.
So I'm busy putting some of my music together so that I can actually launch another album, besides the ongoing need to teach, educate, and share the God-given talent of music.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us this morning,
Thank you for
Laika and
having us.
Mr. Masondo.
Thank you.
And all the best with the workshop and all the work that you're doing there with all of the artists that you have on. Thank you so much for joining us. The Reaching for the Artist Development Workshop is a free virtual training program that focuses on music production alongside copyright, intellectual property literacy, and streaming rights in the age of artificial intelligence. We'll be back after this short break.